Hi, so I'm just doing a quick Biodesign Challenge team work in progress update. So I'm on a team by myself, and I'm going to give you a quick refresher of what my original idea was. So my previous idea, or my original idea, I guess, was to do a bacteria painting, then a second painting created by paint using on like paint that I used with the bacteria and biodegradable paint medium on paper that would be then like burned or biodegraded, and then taking the remnants of that and putting it in soil and then growing something. And that was my like sort of base idea. And then going through the life cycle analysis of like what the final product would be, I guess I realized that like one of the main things is like creating a bacteria paint that is biodegradable. And so that's sort of what I focused on for my life cycle analysis, and I realized that that might be harder than I think it's going to be. And so I've changed the base of mine to creating a bacteria-based environmentally friendly paint. Also because I think it's cool to create your own paint, but it can be very toxic, especially with when you think of like Van Gogh and like mixing like these really heavy metals and like materials into like an oil based, and then like breathing that in can be really toxic. I know it's improved slightly, or not just slightly, but like pretty well in creating safety and safe materials to create paint with, but still it's not super great. I'm not saying that these bacteria are not necessarily the most safe, but I feel like when you're working with bacteria, you're more conscious and aware that it is a potential health risk sometimes. And so right now these are the bacteria that I'm working with, or not working with but plan to work with, which is Staphylococcus aureus, Bacillus subtilis, Chromobacterium violaceum, and Ceratogyrus. All of these have different colors. I'm really focusing on warm tones. Violaceum is, I believe, violet, and I think that is the one that I couldn't find in the catalog, but I'll talk about that more in my next video. So these are all of my materials that I recognize in my life cycle analysis. And so with changes for my past product, my past plan, I may not do an agar painting with the origin bacteria just because it takes a week to grow the bacteria, and I want to focus on making the paint and seeing how that works out before doing that. And that's sort of similar with this, with focusing on making the paint. I'm going to see if I can make biodegradable paint and then do more of the other things, like the more artistic things, like the growing a plant from the remnants of the paint, and making an agar painting. Those are still things that really interest me, but as far as like with my life cycle analysis, those were things that would probably come secondary after I do that. And so that's sort of where I am, or I guess was, because I'm making this a little bit late because I was a little bit confused on the life cycle analysis, and like how to define my product, so I had to sort of change my whole plan. But yeah, that's where I am now. Thank you.